5 in Mexico City of the WC Championship. It's an interesting place, different circuit, new circuit for everybody.
It feels like a street track. You're very enclosed, got a very long straight line, but some really tight, twisty sections.
The altitude being 2,250 meters, the team was quite worried. They did a lot of background work on the engine and also with the cooling.
And on top of that, you have the track with a very long straight, but the rest is quite narrow. You need a lot of mechanical grip. It's a big challenge for everybody, I think.
The perfect pit stop feels incredible. You know that obviously we're fuel limited, so that will be sort of around 30 seconds.
You actually don't look at them anymore because you're so focused on your driving. Something good and something special to have this group of people behind you.
We have a very good car in high speed, you know. Not a lot of drag, good top speed. Our colleagues, they also know how to do a car, so they're also very good.
I have to say it's been the best practice session so far this year. Been much more competitive.
So next step, quality. It's always a good challenge for the drivers, for the car as well.
We will start from position 4 tomorrow. We didn't expect it to be competitive against the turbo engines, but it works out quite good. We hope to finish on the podium or that we are at least able to fight for it.
We tried a lot. We put with Mark 2 sets of tires on. He did a good lap time. And I tried to go at the end again, but with a used set. But with a used set, it's not possible anymore.
P2 front row, it's not too bad.
It's a 4-way race. All 4 of us can win. You can see today, every little mistake counts. Every little thing counts.
Yeah, Mexicans are crazy people. They really like to party.
Autograph session's already building, so it's a good atmosphere.
P2 is not bad as a starting point, and we'll just see how the race develops.
Fiercely fought for 6 hours with Audi. Good show for a spectator, and hopefully we bring the Porsche in first and second position.
We will have a tough fight with some other cars, and that's going to be fun.
Very, very tight at the front, so whoever puts the cleanest race together is going to be the winner.
I think it will be very close and yeah, very crazy as well. Like the crowd.
Little bit crazy race as we expect. First 2 hours, Audi were very strong.
Pretty hot race, obviously, now with the Audis. Really tricky conditions.
Looks like a rain will approach, so difficult decisions for the tire choice and everything. Looks like we can fight for the podium.
And now we have to change the rear because somebody hit us on the rear. Car 1 is leading. We are in the 3rd place.
Brendan's driving absolutely on fire. He's awesome.
In the end, my teammates and I, we just had a scot-free race, and it feels really, really good to get our first victory of the season.
Unbelievable race. A few curveballs for Timo right in the last few laps, so we all had our fingers crossed.
So happy that we could win this race. We could extend the lead in both championships.
In the end, we brought it home for Porsche and we're the quickest car on track all day. Tonight we'll be celebrating.
Tu opinión nos interesa. Si tienes algo que decirnos, envíanos un mail. Esperamos tus sugerencias.
several Lexus machines.
Something is good. And so I think people can see everything, they can get around, there's no restrictions. We try and bring the best cars and drivers from all over the world, and they're also very accessible. And we're lucky to have this very beautiful setting, and it's an unusual place to see great cars. And I think, certainly for 3 days of the year, Goodwood becomes the greatest car collection in the world. So Goodwood and BMW have a very close relationship. Indeed, BMW have been involved with the Festival Speed since about '95. So it's been a very loyal and strong relationship. And of course, Rolls-Royce is based here at Goodwood and right here on the estate. So the headquarters of Rolls-Royce is here. So we have a very strong relationship, and we're very honoured to be celebrating the anniversary of the centenary in such a big way and playing such a big part in it. We love the sculpture this year. I mean, each year we try and obviously do something really sensational and exciting. I think this represents the BMW brand really well. And to see the BT52 and the Le Mans car up there and the Mille Miglia 328 as well is pretty special.
It's a fantastic emotion because it's 33 years ago when I drove the last time. So to rejoin a car that I won a Grand Prix and we had a fantastic season with Nelson is really a feeling that I wanted to have. I was waiting for this moment. The car is still a nice car to drive. Of course, you have to be a little bit careful because we know that we have a lot of power with the turbocharger, and especially in this condition that is quite slippery and the road is very narrow, it's better to check everything with a little bit of time. So, but I like it very much really, and I like to be here in Goodwood because it's a fantastic place to be with old friends, and the atmosphere is really fantastic. It's one of my winning cars. So especially when you have a Grand Prix in your pocket with a car, you always remember with a special feeling. Probably this is not just a revival or a festival. This is a real Grand Prix because there was a lot of people and a lot of cars, and of course here is the best place you can come and see all the cars of the world and all the drivers, the old drivers and even the drivers, the current drivers, because there are also the Formula One cars that they are racing now. And since then I came, this is I think the 6th time, and the atmosphere is always fantastic, and the warmness that the Lord March give to all of us is fantastic. So I like this place really a lot.
It's fantastic. The entire thing, the day I'm leaving, being here at the Festival of Speed of Goodwood, it's fantastic because for many reasons. The fact that there's so many fans here to celebrate what we're doing. I am a fan myself. I wouldn't have become what I did if I wasn't passionate for the activity. And being finally here in person is something really special. I didn't think so many people would come and enjoy the day here and check the cars, and I didn't think myself you could see so many magnificent machines all together in a single paddock, which is, I mean, it strikes me. It's amazing, and I wish actually I could be a normal guy able to walk around and just enjoy what's available to watch, because of course, again, it's a great privilege of getting stopped by everyone to, you know, to say a few things, to sign an autograph or to pose for a selfie. But, you know, being Alex and Harry, you don't get to watch much.
It's fantastic to drive again the M3, a car which I like very much, and I did so many races for many years around the world and won a lot of races. Of course, the atmosphere, the amount of people, the cars and motorbikes, all what you can see here. There is a lot of motorsport history in these events at Goodwood. It's unbelievable the amount of people which are around, and how many fans and how many pictures they bring with them, and a lot of signatures all the time.
Yeah, it's not the first time. Many times I received an invitation to be here, but unfortunately I was not able to come. And this year I make the best to be here for the 100 years of BMW, and I have to say that now I want to come every year.
Yeah, it's such a special event to come to and be invited to. For sure this year, with it being a 100-year anniversary for BMW, it's extra special. It's my 11th year that I've been coming here to Goodwood as well, so for me it's a great occasion.
Ja, sehr gut. Wir gehen noch mal ein bisschen vor nach rechts.
seen this car before. I mean, in real life. So
only one seater, and we restored.
So you only added this over here.
Yes, we.
Okay.
Selden, portfolio.
What is the village a few hundred meters far from here you passed when you came?
Hier?
Yes.
83. Ja, genau. Servus erster. There's about 399 streetcars.
Yeah.
2 pro cars in our collection. This one from your father and from Clay Regas.
Oh, and by the way, it was all brought up by this lady.
Yes. Thank you, my love.
Obviously, kind of like that one. You want to take him for a coffee now?
Yeah.
Nelson.
At least about 10.
Sigueiza. He goes, let's see if he remembers how old he's getting.
I'm sure he will remember the names.
Attila.
And Albasi. I can find some pictures as well. Some pictures. I have a look.
Do you want to ride a motorbike in the future?
There's one like this in my building. Yeah, in Monaco.
We got it since a long, long time.
That's my dream car. There's like a red and white, and the guy is like never using it.
Yeah.
Like I want to buy it to him.
What does this mean, 12 pieces?
Horsepower.
Ah, horsepower.
It's a German expression.
Okay.
Horsepower.
Pferdestärke.
Hard to find?
It's expensive, no?
In a good, we can.
But you drive it sometimes?
We can look
We
for
have
you.
done it.
Oh yeah? Definitely.
Earlier days
Definitely.
we drove it.
No, I mean, I was told to bring a helmet and a suit, so I knew there was something to do with cars, but I had no idea it was going to be not even close to this, obviously. They're all my favorite. They're all cars that I collect, and as small because they're all beautiful, and I don't know if because they're really beautiful or because my dad drove them and he was very successful with them, but for sure, I mean, every opportunity I'll have to be able to driving these cars in the future, I will take it for sure. It's a bit difficult. I mean, I'm sure that this car is 10 times harder to drive, you know. I mean, just imagine the gears up and down every lap, not having to do any mistakes. With so much power, obviously, was a engine with this amount of capacity, was the technology they have at the time was the gearbox. You know, any little mistake would be obviously a retirement. Nowadays, I mean, everything is automatic, and there's no way for you to do anything wrong. So it's a completely different. But in respect, it brings a lot more out of the driver in the races. You know, I think I find it a little bit more similar to, let's say, my rallycross races, where we have to go on the dirt and go sideways and gear up and gear down and know what to do, and the clutch and the brake and everything. You know, nowadays in Formula One is obviously it's accelerator and brake and up and down, very automatic. So I think it would extract much more out of the driver those days than in different kind of skills, I would say, than nowadays. Special stories. I mean, my father said so many different things. I mean, I forgot now. I mean, I know the M1 days where he was a big fan of that car, of those races, you know. I mean, even the stories that he talks about Paul Rusher developing this car, going a lot to South Africa, spending weeks and weeks developing from tires to engines to the turbo to everything, you know. I mean, my dad was the first world champion, was BMW, and I think the only. And so, I mean, he has a lot of good memories. I think back in the day, developing these kind of projects was really fun because there was no limitations, so you could really spend as many days as you wanted driving, and then, you know, him and Paul Rusher would, you know, come up with new solutions or new ideas, and they would develop new turbos, new engines. I mean, it was, you know, there was no limits at the time, so I think for him it was really, really fun, and I really wish I could live in that era, basically, to be able to have that kind of freedom and drive. You know, nowadays everything is so restricted, some number of days and this and that. I mean, even the amount of steps you take on the track sometimes is limited. So it's a big difference compared to the early 80s. The road over here is beautiful. It's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hills. I mean, a lot of nature, animals around, you know. It's really, to be driving Formula One cars around roads like this between the mountains and with cows around, it's not every day that you're allowed to do that.
Okay.
Right. The brakes are only in the front, huh?
Ohne Kappe. Wie ist alles schräg? Nur weil es ein 3-Zylinder dreht, zu BMW gepasst.
Jetzt? Jo.
I pressed the brake and lost the front. Very
Here you have Presley with the car. And the car.
The Corvette.
Yeah,
They changed the paint.
it had a 1958 plate and a 1959 plate. Oh yeah. And that's one of the things I was going to reorganize so I don't have to go looking for it every time. It's very much older than his wife. I've talked to her on the phone. She still lives. No, these are U.S. forces. Yeah, U.S. forces in Germany plates.
Okay, they use it for.
That was the yellow plate the first time.
In the States, not in German, huh?
No, I think it was done German.
No, why? Here you have the American license plate. Sometimes it's not right, huh? Okay, and here is stock racing of the car, huh?
And here?
Yeah.
So it had a plate like that and then a plate like that. And we can find
That's the earlier plate, huh?
Yeah, that's the yellow plate.
From this side to this side. Okay.
Nochmal.
Here you can see the fog lights, huh?
Yeah.
But Presley has not the fog lights.
No.
Thank you very much. That's it. We bring it better than you back to you.
Here's the key to my baby.
Okay, this is
This being the ignition key here.
Okay, for the ignition.
Yeah.
That's for the trunk and for the gas door.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Here's the key to my baby.
Okay, this is
This being the ignition key here.
Okay, for the ignition.
Yeah.
That's for the trunk and for the gas door.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's it. We bring it better than you back to you.
Good. Ah. Well, my memory isn't what it used to be, but there were special moments when I started discovering that these cars had some history, that both of them had been hill climbed. And in fact, in 1958, I believe at Roosevelt, both these cars were entered in a hill climb, and this one, driven by Hans Stuck Sr., took first in class. A Mercedes-Benz took second, and Helmut Glöckler drove that one to third place. So they competed against each other. It's exciting to find out that there's something different or special about the car in the ownership or in that it was raced or shown. And yeah, that was fun. In particular with number 89 here, 70089. I had written to someone at BMW, and I said, all the photos that you're offering for sale on the web are either this car or its successor. Stuck was given a different car the following year. And I says, do you have any pictures of that car? And the license plate, I knew the license plate because I had the service and repair records. And Ruth Standfuss, I believe that was her name, wrote back and said, no, we have no pictures of any other cars. Well, she said, we have one that we don't offer for sale because we can't identify the car. And she sent a Xerox copy of the photo. And I said, I'll make you a deal. I said, you send me your glossy color print, and I will tell you what car that is. And I will send you the service and repair records for that car. Because those records showed the license plate that was clearly visible in the picture and showed the serial number of the car. It was advertised in Competition Press, and it was in Phoenix. Thomas Barrett, who specialized in brokering movie star cars and very expensive classics, Duesenberg's Rolls Royce, that kind of thing, Hispano Suiza. He had turned it down because it had a Corvette engine in it. And I may have been the second guy to call about it. And the fellow who had the car said, well, fly on down here. And he said, if you don't take the car, I'll pay your airfare home. So I flew down. It was $1,500. It's the only way I could afford one of these at the time. But I've spent many, many years accumulating parts. And they cost more than the initial investment. Well, I wanted to restore the car to its new condition. And there were many things that I needed to acquire, many parts. Engine, transmission, dash instruments, toolbox and tools. And then, of course, someone had changed the upholstery. The interior was all changed. And it was a kind of a project that many people turned down because of the expense. I think I'd heard something about Presley. But the fellow who sold me this car is still around in the Phoenix area. And he says, no, he says, I never had an idea it was the Presley car. No, gradually I started to run across some references. And I mean, I'd see a photo caption that would say that the car that Stuck raced in 1958 had been cleaned up and sold to Presley. Well, that's hardly proof, but that puts you on the trail. Well, a few years ago, I wrote a letter to BMW, knowing that I could never afford to restore these things to the condition they deserve to be in. And I said, look, I've got these two 507s, and you appear to be in the beginning years of running a restoration facility. And I had been there, and I said, it looks more like a repair shop, you know, changing oil and spark plugs. And I said that this would be a good project, and you'd gain experience, and I would offer to accept this one back, and this one could go into the museum where many, many more people could enjoy it. If I had a choice, I'd like to keep it, but I want to see this car restored, and all of them, really. And I can't afford to do it. And so I'm happy about that. It's what's good for the car is very important. Actually, it's more special to me that Hans Stuck drove the car than that Elvis had his hands on it. I have a lot of respect for Hans Stuck. Well, I'll tell you something funny about it. People say, oh, why don't you write to Graceland? Those people don't even know we had the car. They know what they read in the magazines. And so I tell them things they don't know about the car. No, Elvis never bought a car in Germany like that. That's what they'll say. I have it in writing. Yeah. Now, if I were interested in money only, I'd be making a mistake. in turning this car over to BMW, but I want to see it restored. I want to see people have the opportunity to see the car, and that's more important to me than me making a few $1 million. But this is timeless. This will never fade out of my mind. It's the beauty of that Fender line.
And it's a rare car. It's going to be restored and owned by a person right here in Peskin. Which rises and then falls at the door and then kicks up a little bit for the rear fender. I think his mother was Jewish and he got out of there. In a way, of course the body is aluminum and they may have to add a little bit of metal there.
Can you just pad on it like you did? Yeah, like you did. Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel a lot of other people patted on at 60s. And a girl